for the next 2 months of Texas will be Wendy Davis.
You do for the children of this beautiful, incredible community. I am so proud to be the Democratic candidate to become your governor in November. And I'm so pleased that the topic of conversation, the most important topic of conversation that we are having about this race, is education, public education, and what we will do for the school children of this state. You all probably know me from my pink tennis shoes and a filibuster from last summer. But these are my filibuster shoes from 2011 when I filibustered $5.5 billion in cuts to public education. And I've been committed ever since to restoring those cuts. When those cuts went through, Texas became 49 out of 51 counting DC in what it was investing in per pupil education funds. And ever since then, we've seen the impacts. Over 25,000 educators lost their jobs, 11,000 of whom were teachers. Our children were put in overcrowded classrooms with record numbers of classroom size waiver requests being filed with the state by the thousands. Schools have closed as a consequence of those cuts. And we are bankrupting our children's future by virtue of that. I come from a place that education lifted me up from. I was raised by a single mom. My mom had only a 9th grade education. She was one of 14 children. And I watched my mother struggle to support 4 children working at Braum's Ice Cream and Dairy Store. And then I became a young single parent myself. And I struggled just as I watched my mom, and I feared that my life story was going to be the same one that I had watched my mother live. But I had a door open to me in community college, and through that door came the possibility for me to stand here in front of all of you today. And I will never forget the promise that this state made to me, that if I was willing to work hard, I could become anything that I dreamed. We need to make that promise to our children once again. But sadly, young women in my situation won't be able to tell the same story that I can tell. We've seen our college tuitions double in the last 10 years. We've watched as so many students struggle with aspirations and dreams to go to college who don't have the opportunity to do that. And we've seen programs being cut in public schools all over our state that were working to make sure that our children could have the promise restored to them that if they were willing to work hard, they could become anything that they dreamed. And that's why when I started this campaign, I started with my platform to improve public education in this state, beginning with making sure that every 4-year-old child in Texas has access to quality full-day restoring those teacher aides to the classroom, restoring those reading specialists for making sure that our kids were not falling through the cracks. And I also laid out a proposal to make sure that we recruit and retain wonderful teachers, recruiting them by getting every single child who's in the top 20% of their high school a place, a guaranteed place in a college classroom in Texas. And the ability, if they will pursue an education degree, to have loan forgiveness for every single year that they will teach in a Texas classroom. And then retaining them because we pay them more closely what they're worth. We'll never pay our teachers year. But Texas right now is about $8,000 a year below the national average of what we pay our teachers, in spite of the fact that we have one of the strongest economies in the country. We know we can do at least average for our teachers in this state, and when I am governor, I intend to make that happen. Laid out a plan to ease back on the gas pedal of standardized tests and to leave behind no child left behind and make sure that our schools once again have the autonomy to measure student success and teacher performance as they believe is in the interest of their local communities. And finally, I've laid out a plan to double the early college high schools in this state and to double the dual credit college courses that are offered in this state so that first generation college students like I was can come to understand as high school students that they are college worthy, that they are college ready, and that they are going to have the first 2 years of college knocked out in high school so that college will be affordable for them as well. And as I stand here today, my opponent Greg Abbott is still fighting in court against Site-Fair ISD and 599 other ISDs across this state to keep the funding cuts in place. This is who you will get if he is elected as our governor, and we all have a stake in making sure that we come together, we vote, we talk to our neighbors about why it's important to vote, and we invest our time, our energy, our effort, so that on November the 4th, we will elect someone who believes that every child, no matter who they are, no matter where they're from, no matter the color of their skin, no matter how rich or poor, every child in this state deserves the promise that a good education can give to them. God bless.